This NFL Week 10 pregame show is brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is offering new customers a $1,000 risk-free bet. Sign up today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com and use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Game Time has last-minute tickets guaranteed with the lowest price guaranteed. Use promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. And in honor of Veterans Day, everything in the merch store is 10% off with promo code VETS. That's VETS. All proceeds from this sale will be donated to Mission 22, a nonprofit serving those who have served. Welcome, everyone, to the NFL Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, NFL Week 10 pregame show. And I got my guy here with me, guys, known as the voice of the MLB pod, the NBA pod, and, of course, here on the NFL Gambling Podcast. It's Lante Smith. Lante, what's going on, brother?
Not bad, man. It's pretty good. Ready to get into it.
Yeah, man. We already have one game that is that is going on right now over in Frankfurt, Germany. We got the Indianapolis Colts and the New England Patriots. And right now, I think the last time I checked the score, the Colts were up 7-3 on a Jonathan Taylor home run, if I'm not mistaken. But plenty of intriguing matchups here on the NFL Week 10 card. And Lonte, let's just dive right into it, man. A lot for us to get to here. So first game, we'll go over to Cincinnati. I'll start with my Texans here. I should say my Bengals as well, because I do have a future on them to win the Super Bowl. But the Texans, they are in Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. The current line I see is -6 in favor of the Cincinnati Bengals. Currently over on Bet365. That number is now down to 5.5. So money looks like it's coming in on the Texans, and a lot of injuries happening here for the Texans. So their place kicker, Kymie Fairbairn, was put on the injured reserve with a quad injury. Steven Nelson is questionable. Jimmy Ward is out. Andrew Beck, fullback, is out. Jerry Hughes, defensive end, is questionable. Jack Hansen, linebacker, is out. Robert Woods is questionable. Brevin Jordan, tight end, is out. Nico Collins is out. Damian Pierce is out. So, Jesus Christ, a lot of injuries right now for the for the Texans. Jamar Chase, the big news for the Cincinnati Bengals, he is viewed as a true game time decision for Sunday's matchup against the Texans. And then also T. Higgins, we know, is out as well. So they may be a little bit thin at that wide receiver position for the Cincinnati Bengals. Lonte, player props in this game, what are you looking at?
A lot of uncertainty, so not much here. I didn't really know where to go on the Houston side. Maybe you can help me out there. But I mean, obviously the pass offense has been, amazing with Stroud, but he's he doesn't have a go-to receiver. He's kind of spreading it around. Mm-hmm. I know Tank Dell is having a solid year, but I think Lou Anarumo is going to have something dialed up for him. Probably, drop 8, make them run the ball with Mixon here. I like Mixon under 66.5 rushing yards. He's been pretty much hovering around this number all season. But that was pretty much when he was relied on early, in the season when Burrow was hurt. So now that Burrow's healthy, I know he's missing some weapons, but they should be able to, kind of attack that secondary of Houston, because, the 24th in pass yards allowed, solid against the run. He's under this in 2 of his last 3, which is kind of, going all around what I was just saying about him running early or running more early on when Burrow was unhealthy. So yeah, I like Mixon under that. Houston's top 10 in rush defense, so I'm not sure if he'll be able to get it going on the ground. So I like I like Mixon under 6.5. I'm waiting on the Chase news to fire on some tight ends. They got the tight ends involved last week. So maybe looking at some tight end props for Cincinnati, but outside of that, I didn't have much on the Houston side.
Yeah, the Texans side, it's either going to be Dalton Schultz. I know him and CJ Stroud have developed some chemistry over the last 4 to 5 weeks here. He said I recorded a touchdown as well, has Dalton Schultz in 4 to 5 last weeks, and including 3 straight games where he scored a touchdown for the Texans. And then also, I think it'll might be the Noah Brown week for the Texans as well. Last week he had 150 plus receiving yards, if I'm not mistaken. His yardage prop right now for receiving is at 41.5. I like that. Tank Dell's at 56.5, so I think you would understand. You mentioned tight ends. I think Trendon Irwin for the Cincinnati Bengals. It might just turn into a free roll that even if Jamar Chase does play, they do have his yardage prop listed right now at 81.5. But Irwin's at 31.5. It is a little bit juiced at minus 140. But I think that might be worth a look here for the Cincinnati Bengals. But yeah, I think I would look at Joe Mixon over 21.5 receiving yards as well. What you mentioned as far as the Texans rush defense, that's really good. Maybe they start throwing the ball more to the running back because the Texans have not done very well. I think you and I we talked about what was it, last week's game against the Buccaneers that turned into the shootout that we took to Rashad White over. And I think that might be a theme this week. So I'm looking at Joe Mixon here over 21.5 receiving yards. Anything else in this game?
No, I didn't have much.
All right, let's get over to the next game on the board. Let's go to the battle of the AFC North. We got the Cleveland Browns. They are in Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Ravens currently sitting at a 6.5 point favorite. Currently over on Bet365 with a total of 38 in this game. Looking at the injury report for the Cleveland Browns. Let's see here. Offensive tackle Dawan Jones is out for this game. Greg Newsome II is questionable with a groin injury. Let's see. David Bell, wide receiver, is out. Marquise Goodwin, wide receiver, is out. Pierre Strong Jr. is also questionable here, the running back with a hamstring injury. And that is pretty much it for the Browns. So a little bit thin at that wide receiver position. I think that seems like it's going to be a theme today. And then for the Baltimore Ravens, should be a pretty clean injury report. I didn't see anything of significance for them, but they're Mitchell, wide receiver, running back, who just burst onto the scene last week, is officially listed as questionable, but he is expected to play today. He's dealing with a hamstring injury, so now not sure how effective he is going to be. And then Marlon Humphrey, cornerback for the Ravens, hamstring injury as well. He is listed as questionable for this game against the Browns. Any player props in this game looking at here, Lante?
Man, listen, I have nothing. I don't really know what to expect here because, as you know, the Ravens are pretty much running back by committee, so I don't like any of the running backs. I don't trust the Cleveland offense. They're pretty much running back by committee as well. Banged up at the wide receiver spot. Not sure what they expect. Maybe some Deshaun Watson under passing yards and maybe over rushing yards. Thinking that the defense is going to be there, especially the pass rush. This is going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if this game finished like 6-3, 9-3. So I would probably be looking at a lot of unders, but anything official, I couldn't find anything really, to be honest. It's just too much like uncertainty of things to go wrong here or to go right for either side. So I stayed away, but I would probably be looking at a lot of unders if you're going to play anything.
Yeah, I didn't really have anything here. I think this might be one of those games where it just turns a defensive battle, like a 17-14 type of final.
Watch this be the highest scoring game on the board.
Yeah. I think that's what transpired between last week between the Buccaneers and the Texans. I think that total was like right around like 39 or 40, and they ended up like scoring like 76 points in the game.
They probably scored half of that in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think they had like 31 in the first quarter or the fourth quarter.
I think so.
Yeah, so I didn't have anything for this game. The only thing I would look at, I think I mentioned this every single week, is probably just Amari Cooper to go over on his receiving yards. He always finds a way. And the market never really adjusts for his number either. he's at, again, 53.5 this week. And, this may, again, like we mentioned, may just be a defensive battle, but I just at least think that Amari Cooper always finds a way to get over his his receiving yards prop. Last week, 5 targets, 5 receptions, 139 yards. But that was against the Arizona pass defense as well. But prior to that, 89 against the Seattle Seahawks. I think that was with PJ Walker in there. 108 against the San Francisco 49ers. Against Baltimore, he did struggle. I think he was dealing with an injury when they played back on October 1st. We had 6 targets, 1 reception for 16 yards. So, keep that in mind if you are going to be betting Amari Cooper props here today. Shark, you mentioned the Texans money line. I feel like this might be a letdown spot this week for the Texans, especially with all the injuries that they are dealing with. If they're going to win this game, it's going to have to be they're going to have to get, I don't say creative, but they're going to have to find probably like a special team touchdown, or the defense is going to have to force some turnovers here for them to win this game here. But again, they have far exceeded my expectations thus far this season. I think the chagrin of I think a lot of people around the NFL, the Texans have exceeded expectations right now for the season. All right, Lance, let's get over to the next game here. We got the Green Bay Packers. They are in Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Steelers currently sitting as a 3-point favorite with a total of 38.5. Looking at the injury report for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's see here. Nothing really of significance. Mika Fitzpatrick is going to be out safety. He is dealing with a hamstring injury. Pratt Freiermuth plans to resume practice next week, so they get some help back on the offensive side. But other than that, a lot of second string guys for the Pittsburgh Steelers. For the Green Bay Packers, we are looking at Rudy Ford, safety, questionable. He's dealing with a calf injury. Kenny Clark, defensive tackle, shoulder injury, officially listed as questionable. Quay Walker, linebacker, is doubtful for this game. He has a groin injury. Jair Alexander, cornerback, shoulder injury. He is also doubtful. So some significant injuries on the defensive side of the football for the Green Bay Packers. Any player props in this game here, Lonte?
Yeah, I got a few. I got one on each side. I like Aaron Jones over 80.5 rushing and receiving yards. Shop around because I think it's like between 80.5. I've seen some like 82s. I've seen some 83.5. So just shop around. It's 80.5. It's plenty of 80.5s that are out there. Pittsburgh bottom 3 in rushing yards allowed. They struggle against multifaceted backs. You saw it last week. And Aaron Jones got going. I mean, he had 24 touches last week, which was pretty much what the game plan needs to be going forward because he's the most dynamic playmaker. He had 99 yards on those 24 touches, so he might be getting a little bit healthier here. So I think little drop downs or check downs out of the backfield, and I think he can get going on the ground as well. I mean, Pittsburgh's defense, they got names, but they haven't been playing well. 29th in rushing yards allowed, 30th in total yards per game allowed. Obviously, their defense is kind of carrying them, but they're getting short fields, stuff like that. But I think Aaron Jones should be able to, get what he wants here on the ground and through the air. They like to split him out a lot. They put AJ Dillon in the backfield, so I like him over that 80.5 rushing and receiving yards. I also like Pickett under 206.5. I think that's still available. 206.5. You see anything different?
Let me see here.
I did these notes like earlier in the week, so I'm trying to make sure that this I didn't get a chance to double check every one, but I think 206.5 is pretty much the prevailing number.
I see. Okay, passing. That's not. I need passing yards. Kenny Pickett is at. Jesus Christ, man! Come on. Where's Kenny? Yeah, I still at 206.5.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so he had under 250 yards, under 240 yards actually combined in his last 2 games. You could just eye test wise. I mean, you don't even have to look at the numbers. He's like missing like wide open people. It's bad. If it wasn't for Tommy DeVito and what's my other guy name? Zach Wilson. Like, man, Pickett would probably be talked about a little bit more. And of course, they're winning, so it's kind of hard to, bang on him for being bad. But he's been bad. Green Bay, solid pass defense, top 10 in yards allowed. I think we see a heavy dose of Warren and Najee here. I don't think they need to, get over zealous with the game plan. I think you see a lot of Najee. I think you see a lot of Jalen Warren. So yeah, I like Pickett under 206.5 passing yards.
Yeah, I like the Aaron Jones angle in this game. I mean, Pittsburgh, again, rush defense has been putrid so far this season, but Aaron Jones also gets involved in the passing game, and we saw that with so many years with Aaron Rodgers, and they've tried to do that same thing with Jordan Love in the backfield. He's at 24.5 right now for his receiving yards. I don't hate that, which is like a little. It's been priced around 20.5, 22 now, so maybe the market has adjusted just slightly. But I didn't really. I think Jalen Warren we've talked a lot about as well on our pregame shows here. Let me see what he's been doing over the past couple of weeks here.
He had a big game last week. I know he had a big game. I think he
Yeah,
had
11
a
attempt.
touchdown call back, if I'm not mistaken. Or did he score?
Yeah. No touchdowns from last week, but he had 88 yards on the ground, 11 attempts, and then 3 receptions, 25 yards through the air, 113 total yards, scrimmage yards for Jalen Warren. I'm looking for his receiving yards number for Jalen Warren, 20.5. I kind of like that as well. Especially with the injuries that the Green Bay Packers have on the defensive side.
What is Najee's rush attempts? I might look at that. Najee's rush attempts.
Najee rush attempts are...
I'm sure like 14.5, 13.5.
Where is attempts? Let's see. Najee is at 12.5, but it's minus 150.
Oh, yeah, so it's basically 13 and a half.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I lean that way. I wouldn't lay that much juice, but yeah, I lean that way. I think it's just gonna. I mean, there's no need to put the ball in Pickett's hands. It's just no need to do that. Green Bay defense, pass defense is pretty good. So, yeah, I think they rely heavy on the rush game here.
Yeah. All right. Let's get over to the next game. Let's go over to Minnesota. Right now, the Saints are sitting as I think the last number I saw was 3 for the Saints. Yeah, so right now the Saints are up to a 3-point favorite. They are in Minnesota as a road favorite here. 41 is the total for the game here, and for the New Orleans Saints. Kendre Miller is out for this game. He's dealing with a ankle injury. That is pretty much it. Nothing of significance for the New Orleans Saints. For the Minnesota Vikings, KJ Osborne has already been ruled out, and I think this was a note that I saw from Adam Schefter here. Let me go back and read this because it had a lot to do with TJ Hawkinson. So TJ Hawkinson is dealing with a ribs injury. And let me see if I can find it here. Let me try another one that usually has the up to date. So pretty much what it says in so many words is that he's expected to play here tonight, but he's going to be on a very, very limited snap counts, and he's going to be in situations where he is really going to be needed. So I think if you're looking at Hawkinson props, you probably want to look at some unders in this game. And then KJ Osborne, he cleared NFL concussion protocol, but he has been ruled out. And then Justin Jefferson, there was rumors of him possibly coming back, but he wasn't activated from injured reserve on Saturday. So maybe he'll be back next week for the Minnesota Vikings here. Lante, I think the obvious one I think that a lot of people are going to be on is Josh Dobbs rushing yards. I don't think that's pretty much a question here. I did get that at 29.5 for Josh Dobbs. And there's a couple ways that, you can, dissect this, because number one, this is only a second week with the Minnesota Vikings. And last week he came in, and if you were reading what people were saying, that Coach Kevin O'Connell was pretty much telling him the plays in his headset before the timer runs out. And he was able to come back and lead this team. And he obviously took all the first team reps. So my understanding, or my thinking is that if his first or second reads aren't there in this game, I think that he's just going to scramble and utilize his legs to take off. That number is right now around 28.5 for Josh Dobbs on his rushing yards. And we saw that in Minnesota, when he was with Arizona as a quarterback there, that he wasn't afraid to utilize his leg. I think you and I also talked about this
Yep.
when we talked a lot about Josh Dobbs, that he'll take off, he'll use his legs, and I'm trying to pull up his scrimmage yards here throughout his time as a quarterback here. So last week for Minnesota, 7 attempts, 66 yards. They go back to Arizona. I'll quickly just read this off: 26, 43, 47, 1, 48, 55, 41, and then -3 back in week 1. But I think those were probably on kneel downs anyway. So I like Josh Dobbs here, 28.5 rushing yards. That was one that stood out to me here. And then I'm going to try to dig up some receiving props for some of these guys here for the Minnesota Vikings. But why don't you rip and run what you have?
Yeah, I have a few. Let me see. I was looking at Dobbs, but I don't think that I think the tape is out on him right now. I think New Orleans was that good rush defenses might limit him, but again, I think he might get there on just sheer volume, just having to run with no Osborne, Hawkinson banged up. Probably going to be Lattimore's probably going to be on Addison, so he's going to be getting some special attention. So I'm looking at Powell to go over his receiving yards. It is at hold on, I just had an updated number, 23 and a half.
20. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so I like that over. I mean, he's got to throw the ball to somebody. I think Powell had a decent game last week in the slot. I also like Madison under 48.5 rushing yards. I mean, the Saints defense is just too good. The rush defense is just too good. He hasn't been getting it going anyway. So I think that those are decent looks here. The under on Madison 48.5, and then over on Powell 23.5.
What do you think about his receiving yards over 12.5 for Madison?
Oh, yeah, I can get behind that. Check downs. I definitely can get behind that. I definitely can get behind that.
Yeah, because last week, 2 targets for 49 yards, but that was I think that long touchdown run, a reception that he had for 47 yards that he took to the house. And the Saints pass defense against the running back, like they've given up the yards to the running back position, at least through the air. I know you mentioned that their rush defense has been really good, and it has been, but they do give it up through the air. Last week, the Bears running backs as a group accumulated 28 receiving yards. I know Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss didn't get there, but Travis Etienne had 24. Let's see, Zeke had 17. Rashawn White, our guy, had 22. Aaron Jones had, Patrick Taylor of the Green Bay Packers running back group had 23. Chuba Hubbard,
must have been a game that
34.
Aaron Jones was out.
Yeah, and then Derrick Henry had 56 as well. So I like that. Alexander Madison over 12.5 receiving yards in this game here today.
I'm going to play that.
Anything else for this game?
No, I'm going to play that right now, though.
All right, let's go over to the Tennessee Titans. They are in Tampa to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's look at the injury report for both of these teams. For the Tennessee Titans, I am seeing Will Levis will be the starting quarterback. Ryan Tannehill ankle is not expected to suit up. And other than that, it's a pretty clean injury report. Treylon Burks is going to be out. He's been dealing with a concussion. And then Sean Murphy, bunting cornerback, has also been ruled out for this game. And Mike Brown, safety. So a couple injuries on both the offensive and defensive side for the Tennessee Titans. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it is going to be Jamal Dean, cornerback, is listed as questionable. He is dealing with a concussion. Logan Hall, defensive end, questionable with a groin injury. And those are only the significant ones that we are. And then Carlton Davis, the third cornerback, is questionable. He's dealing with a toe injury. He's considered a game time decision, according to head coach Todd Bowles. So both teams dealing with some injuries on the defensive side of the football here. Lante, I know that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have allowed the most receiving yards to the wide receiver position. But as far as player props, what do you look at in this game?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Levis over 22.5 passing yards. He's over in both games. He started attempts that are 29 and 39 in both of those games. You mentioned it, 31st in passing yards allowed for Tampa Bay. So I think he'll be slinging it around. The rush defense is still good for Tampa Bay. What are they? Where are my notes? They are top 10 in rushing yards allowed, which leads me into my next pick. It's kind of contrarian, but Henry over 65.5 rushing yards. You don't think that's too low?
For a guy like Derrick Henry, I mean, he could break
I'm
that all
saying,
the
bro,
time.
I'm saying like 65.5.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't been great, but 65.5. I mean, come on.
Let me see.
I just took it over. I just took it over just for the hell of it. I mean, 65.5 is too low for Derrick Henry. I mean, he's going to get what 20 carries, 25 carries. So, yeah, I like him over that. We're gonna go back to Rachaad White. Do you like Rachaad White? I can let you expand on it, but
I think you have to. I'm pulling up the numbers for what the Titans have
well,
allowed
well,
to the
while
running
you
back
do that,
position. Yeah.
79.5 is his rushing and receiving yards. He's over that in 3 straight. We saw last week Thursday Night Football. I think Tennessee struggled with Pittsburgh with their backs. You mentioned Jalen Warren
Yeah.
going over. I think he had
Yep.
113. Najee had a good day as well. I think he was like right at 100 rushing and receiving. So I think they struggle here as well. Rachaad White's. I mean, they can't run the ball. 30th in rushing yards. Tennessee middle of the pack, like defensively. So not bad, not good. So yeah, I think the back. I think Rachaad White has a day here.
24.5 is his receiving yards number. And he's also getting the targets as well, man. Like you take a look over the last 3 weeks, he had 6 targets against the Atlanta Falcons, 7 against the Buffalo Bills, 4 against the Houston Texans. And he went over in all of those games, 46 last week, 70 against the Bills, and then 65 against the Atlanta Falcons. And then take a look at the running backs, what they've given up to the wide receiver, the running backs. Back-to-back weeks, they've allowed 100 plus rushing yards, and that's been a combination with the Falcons, but Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, and then last week, like you mentioned, Najee Harris and Jalen Warren both had a combined 157 yards on the ground. But also, we mentioned Jalen Warren, 25 receiving yards last week against the Titans defense. You would have to go all the way back to week 5 where they gave up 30 to Zach Moss through the air. So I think I got to continue riding it. The thing is just for me that he's just getting the targets, regardless of who they're playing right now, is Rachaad White from Baker Mayfield. So, yeah, at 24.5, I think you got to continue riding that for Rachaad White here. So I do like that. Anything else for this game?
No, that's it.
All right. Let's get over to maybe the game of the week here. The San Francisco 49ers coming off of the bye week. They are in Florida to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars are a 3-point home underdog in this game. And some good news as far as the injury report for the San Francisco 49ers. Both Trent Williams and Christian McCaffrey will be playing in this game. And they are expected to be back here. Other than that, pretty clean injury report. Javon Hargrave, defensive tackle, is listed as questionable for this game. I believe this is the debut for Chase Young for the Niners,
Yes, sir.
if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Tyson Campbell, cornerback, is questionable with a hamstring injury. Daniel Thomas, safety, hamstring injury is questionable. Zay Jones is going to be out for this game. He's dealing with a knee injury, and Andre Cisco, safety, hamstring injury is also questionable. So some questionable tags for the defensive side of the football for the Jacksonville Jaguars here. Lante, player props in this game, man. What are we looking at?
Man, it's gonna be a good game. They should have flexed this one to prime time or something. They did all that stuff over the offseason and like about flexing games, and we haven't had one game flex, have we?
Not yet. I don't think so.
Yeah, that's
This would have been
horrible.
the week to do it because we
Yeah,
got
right,
freaking Raiders and Jets on
right,
Sunday Night Football.
right. That's fucking horrible. Yeah, even the Monday night is. I mean, it's not terrible, but like, I mean, the games early on is way more intriguing. Like Baltimore, Cleveland,
Yeah.
San Francisco. Like it's just ridiculous. But yeah. I think both of these teams are gonna have some success here. You mentioned the weapons return for San Francisco. I mean, Purdy's performances were poor, but kind of discount him a little bit due to the missing, his top 2 players, especially at, Trent Williams at left tackle. Shanahan got more involved in the defensive plan this week. I was reading some reports about that. He's bringing Wilkes down from the box, so Wilkes won't be, calling plays from the press box. He'll be actually on the field. They want to blitz list. The players have been pretty much stressing that they want to stay back in the zone more. It's kind of leaving their corners on islands. So I think that they're going to be more ramped up defensively. I'm going to go with Purdy over passing yards. I think it's 245.5. Is that what you see?
Purdy passing yards. Let's see here. I had a Purdy prop as well, but let me find his passing yards here.
I think it should be 240. I don't want to
Yeah,
give out
it's
the
still
upfield
245 and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to go over that. Jacksonville 30th in passing yards allowed. San Francisco getting the weapons back. I think they'll be ramped up to get those guys going. So I'm going to go with him over the 245 and a half passing yards. And also on Jacksonville side, I got a few. I'm going to go with ETN under 65 and a half rushing yards. San Francisco's top 5 in rushing yards allowed. He's actually under this number in 3 of his last 5, but you wouldn't notice because he's just been scoring he's been scoring 2 touchdowns in like 3 of the last 4 games. So he's actually been their whole offense, to be honest with you. Like Lawrence has been pretty much, he's been okay, but the offense is pretty much being carried by ETN. But I do like Lawrence over 15 and a half rushing yards. He had a week to get healthy. You mentioned Chase Young being there. Pass rush, could force him out of the pocket. He's had 30 plus in 3 of his last 5 games, and this is with him being banged up. So extra week to prepare. Big game. I think he'll use his legs more. So give me Lawrence over 16 and a half rushing yards. ETN under 65 and a half rushing yards. Purdy over 245 and a half passing yards.
Yeah, I like Purdy's pass attempts in this game. That's at 30 and a half. You mentioned San Francisco being top 10 in rushing yards allowed. Where's Jacksonville on that list?
Jacksonville is actually 4th. Jacksonville's 4th in rushing yards allowed. Yep.
So I think that this will be more of a game where Brock Purdy's gonna have to throw the football if they're not able to find success on the ground. Jacksonville quarterbacks against Jacksonville this season are averaging 41.75 attempts per game, close to 42 attempts per game, which is the most in the entire National Football League. And shout out to my guy Chris. He pointed this out on the Propcast this week. So this was one I really like as well. I wrote this one down. That's at 30 and a half pass attempts for Brock Purdy in this game. And then also, which is mentioned that Jacksonville 4th in allowing the least amount of rushing yards, which Christian McCaffrey is a different species, but I do like him through the air. 31 and a half receiving yards in this game for Christian McCaffrey.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Let me see here. What
I'm gonna put that in while you're talking.
Jaguars are allowing through the air because through the running back position. So they're allowing 49.38 receiving yards per game through the air. Last week, again, week 8, we talked about Najee and Jalen Warren at volume so far this week. Najee had 5 receptions, 42 yards in that game. Alvin Kamara, 12 receptions, 91 yards against the Jaguars on that Thursday night football game. Both Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor went over this number. They had 38 and 46. Bijan Robinson, 5 receptions, 32 yards. Even the Texans as a collective group got 32. Dameon Pierce, 3 for 28. So you kind of get the theme here. So I think 31 and a half is a little bit low for Christian McCaffrey. So I'll take the over on his receiving yards in this game. And then Brock Purdy over on his pass attempts of 30 and a half. Those are probably 2 of my favorite ones I really like this week. Anything else for this game here, Lante?
Nah, but that's a good point. I'm a bet both of those actually.
All right, let's go to. I think we got to all of them. We have Sunday Night Football left. What else? Did I miss any of the game?
Yeah,
we got to go afternoon game.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
You can skip a few of them.
Yeah, we probably have not much on this one. Atlanta Falcons, they are in Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Cardinals, a 2.5-point home underdog. Total sitting at 43.5 in this game. Kyler Murray is back this week for the Arizona Cardinals. Tyler Heineke is going to be the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. Let me get to the injury report here for both of these teams. For the Cardinals, I am seeing James Conner was activated off of the injured reserve Saturday, and he is expected to play in this game against the Atlanta Falcons. So some reinforcements come back on the offensive side for the Arizona Cardinals. DJ Humphries, offensive tackle, is listed as questionable. He's dealing with an ankle injury. Will Hernandez, guard, questionable with a knee injury. Amari DeMarcado, running back, has been ruled out. And Michael Wilson, wide receiver, shoulder injury. He is questionable for this game against the Atlanta Falcons. And then for the Falcons, D. Alford, cornerback, is out. Mac Hollins is also out for this game as well. and that is pretty much it. So Marius Formas, like I mentioned, come back here for the Arizona Arizona Diamondbacks, Arizona Cardinals. James Conner back, Kyler Murray back. Any props in this game you like here, Alante?
I got nothing, man. But I think Arizona wins this game. They need to fire Arthur Smith in Atlanta. He has no idea what he's doing. No, zero idea what he's doing.
I think everybody's upset about him.
Yeah, he has
not
no idea
utilizing Bijan Robinson. I don't know
like
what
the hell is he doing? I really he's a run first play caller.
Yeah,
like I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't have anything. Too much uncertainty. I don't know how Kyler's gonna look. I mean, I would just if you like. I mean, I don't know if you can bet his props, but I would probably take a rushing prop under. I don't know if he'll be running around a lot. Maybe he'll be, running a throw and not running to, pick up third downs like we're accustomed to seeing him do. I do think that Rondale Moore maybe gets unlocked with Murray being back. He was really good for them, but again, this was with DeAndre Hopkins on the team. Yeah.
Hop. Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, nothing right now.
23.5 is a number for Rondale Moore, and I do not see a rushing yards. Or let me see if I can find one for Kyler.
What do they have Kyler's passing yards at?
Let's see. So rushing yards is at 23.5. And then passing yards for Kyler is at where is Kyler Murray? 225.5 at plus 114.
So why are they actually playing? Is it in their in his contract that if he sits, like he has to pay them back, or it's something with his contract? It's something with his contract that they want him to play. I don't know what the deal is, or maybe they're trying to showcase him so they can show he's healthy and then move him in the offseason. I
think that's probably what it is. And also Call of Duty came out this weekend, so maybe
Good point.
Yeah, maybe that will be it. All right, let's get over to another game here. Your Giants, they are in Dallas to take on the Cowboys. 17.5 right now for the Dallas Cowboys. Total of 39. Injury report. Obviously, we know that it'll be Tommy DeVito for the New York Giants at the quarterback position. Let me see if there's any other significant injuries for Aziz Ojulari, linebacker, has been activated to the roster. He is dealing with the ankle injury, but officially questionable. And that is pretty much it. Evan Neal continues to be out. That is ugly for the Giants. Jesus Christ, I feel bad for you.
No, don't feel bad for me. I'm overzealous. I don't have to tune in every week.
For the Cowboys, Kevontae Turpin, wide receiver, is questionable, shoulder injury, and that is pretty much it. I just had one in this game. I was looking at Saquon Barkley either on his receptions to go over or his receiving yards to go over. I think that when we talk about third string quarterbacks, that they're not able to find anything downfield, that you'll be maybe seeing a lot of dump offs to the running backs, and then you're looking at possibly them setting up screen passes for Saquon. I don't hate that. His number right now for his receptions at 3.5, but his receiving yards was the one that I was really looking at, and I think I grabbed that earlier this week at 20.5.
You're brave.
Let me see the under. Oh, sorry. Let me see the 20.5 right now still for Saquon.
Yeah, you're brave for trusting Tommy DeVito. Actually, Tommy DeVito is living a good life, man. He lives at home with his parents, gets dinner made, his bed made by his. Listen, he's living life like you. You got the maids and everything working.
I don't know. I don't think he has maids. His maid is his mom. If I told my mom to clean my room, she'd slap me across the face. So that's where we're at. All right. We'll give out some locks. Big protein at the end of the episode of our player props. Catfish Dilly asking from our favorite Christmas movies. Ooh,
Home Alone.
Christmas Story is a classic. Home Alone, I grew up watching. That's
the
first two.
Top one.
I think the Lost in New York is pretty underrated.
Yeah,
it is. One.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, that's one of my favorite. What else is? What did you say to yours? Yours was
Christmas Story.
Christmas Story.
The one with Ralphie, the little kid.
Yeah,
I like a classic.
I like the one with Tom Allen. I used to watch it as a kid. Is it Tom Allen? The Santa movie. Uh,
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know Allen's his last name. I don't know if it's
yeah, it's
what's his
Tom
first name?
Tom Allen is the fucking coach
Tim
for
Allen.
Tim Allen. That's who it is. Home
Yeah,
Improvement.
well, we were
That's
close.
what.
We're only one letter off.
Yeah, yeah. Tom is the fucking coach for Indiana. Santa Claus. Yeah, that's
um,
in my top 5. That's a good movie.
I know it's not really a Christmas movie, but it's Christmas theme. I think it's Friday After Next, or is it next Friday?
Nah,
Next
Friday After
Friday.
Next. Yeah, yeah.
Friday After Next. Okay.
That's top 3. Yeah, that's top 3.
Yeah. All right, one more game here. Or actually, 2 more games we got to get to here. Commanders and the Seahawks. Seahawks are currently sitting as a 6-point favorite at home, total of 44.5. Looking at the injury report for the Washington Commanders. Let me go back to my screen here. Injuries. Commanders, I am seeing. So Curtis Samuel, wide receiver, is questionable. He's been dealing with a toe injury. Other than that, pretty clean for them. For the Seattle Seahawks, nothing really there, man. I mean, Colby Parkinson, tight end, is questionable. The biceps injury, and then DJ Dallas, running back, shoulder injury is also questionable. And then Jordan Brooks, linebacker, hamstring is also listed as questionable. So, and then Anthony Bradford, guard, has been ruled out. He is dealing with a knee injury. Do you have anything for this game here, Lante, as far as player props?
Yeah, I got a few. I got one.
Okay.
Well, actually, I think I got 3. So yeah, we're gonna go with Brian Robinson under 45.5 rushing yards. Inconsistent with carries. It's kind of either there or it's not. He's under this number in 4 of his last 6. The Seattle rush defense isn't the greatest, but I think they'll be able to contain that. I think they'll be playing from a negative game script anyway. I think Seattle, blows the doors off of them here. I like Geno over 261.5 passing yards. Struggles versus man defense. Washington's going to play a decent amount of zone here. Step down in competition. He got back-to-back, like 2 of the top 3 defenses in the NFL. He got Baltimore and Cleveland. Not sure if it was in that order or whatever, but he played 2 of the top 3 defenses. So I mean, he's gonna look like that. They make a lot of people look like that. Washington's 28th in passing yards allowed. They've allowed 275 plus passing yards to 5 of the last 6 quarterbacks. Including 1 to a backup, if I'm not mistaken. Tyrod Taylor. Yeah, Tyrod Taylor actually threw for over 275 on them.
Yeah.
They like I said, he played 2 of the top defenses in the past few weeks. It's kind of skewing his number. I think he can get over 3 here. If you can get 2 things here, if you can find Geno for passing yards leader, this is on. If you shop around, you can find it. Some books post it. If you find him for passing yards leader, I think you can get that. And DK Metcalf to lead the day in receiving yards, it's like 38-1. I think that's a solid. I think that's a solid play. I got another one, which is probably going to be one of my favorites that we're going to talk about next. But DK to lead the day in receiving yards. Now this is just for Sunday, so it doesn't count Monday. So Stephon Diggs goes insane. You still can get there, but yeah, I think he has a good shot. 38-1 against his pass defense with Forbes, who is a gambler. He's going to try to pick it off a couple. Broken plays. I think DK can get, north of 100 yards here.
I would look at longest reception then for
like that.
DK 24.5 at -125. If you want to throw in, low. Yeah, Tyler Lockett 21.5. I mean, that's kind of low as well. Let me see.
Tyler Lockett is just like so good. He's just so good.
I mean, he could get behind this pass defense.
Yeah, he can.
Let me see. Been doing over the past couple of weeks, but I've been preaching a lot about just taking the longest completion for quarterbacks against his Washington Commanders defense, and it has been cashing more times than not. But Lockett long receptions have not really been there over the last 3 weeks, 18, 17, and 15. Let me look at DK because DK can just turn on the Jets anytime he gets into some open field. Let's see here. Why isn't it just giving me his regular game log here? Let me find that in the meantime. But
no, you good. I think I can pull it up real quick. I had it up right now.
Here I got it. So last week he had a 50-yard reception against the Ravens, 43 against the Browns, 30 against the Cincinnati Bengals, 16 against the Giants, 34 against the against the Carolina Panthers. So think that number's low, 24.5. I like the over on that. Sam Howell pass attempts over 36.5 in this game. Let me take a look. This guy's just slinging it around over the last couple weeks here. 45 against the Patriots, 52 against the Eagles, 42 against the Giants. He only had 23 against the Atlanta Falcons, but then 51 against the Chicago Bears. So we're expecting him to be trailing in this game. Game script wise, I think that he's going to have to throw the football around. And like you like the under on Brian Robinson here. So I think that's just going to have to enable the Washington Commanders here to throw the football here. So 36.5 on his pass attempts. I do like that. And then DK Metcalf, longest reception over 26.5 yards here. Again, just because we talked about how bad this pass defense is for the Washington Commanders. So those were the two I was looking at. You have anything else for this game?
No, I don't.
All right, last game, Sunday Night Football. We have the Jets and the Raiders. Kind of went blank there for a second. Jets and the Raiders on Sunday Night Football. Right now, the Jets are a 1 point. Oh, I think we forgot one game. Let me go back. Lions and Chargers. Lions are a 3-point favorite right now in Inglewood to take on the Chargers. Total sitting at 48.5 in this game. Looking at the injury report for the Detroit Lions, they will. They are pretty clean. Donovan People-Jones, wide receiver. Ribs is listed as questionable. Vaitai, guard, is also been ruled out. So they are going to be down an offensive lineman. And CJ Gardner Johnson was, I guess, put on the injured reserve because it just says injured reserve for him. And then for the Chargers, I see Joshua Palmer, wide receiver, injured reserve. He was put on there. We're dealing with a knee injury. And then that is pretty much it. So pretty healthy squad for the Chargers here. Do you have anything in this game for props?
Yeah, so I'm going Amon-Ra St. Brown to lead the day in receiving 9-1. It's like the second favorite after Chase. I don't think Chase should be the favorite. I mean, he's not even healthy, but 9-1, man. I think I like against this Chargers, a defense they're 32nd in passing yards allowed. Obviously, if I like him to lead the day in receiving, I like him over 83.5 receiving yards. He's over 105 of his last 7 games, or 5 of the 7 games that he's played, including 3 straight. Volumes through the roof. 31 catches in his last 3 games, man. 31 catches. That's just catches in his last 3 games. So I think he will pretty much explode. They get healthy with Montgomery and Gibbs both being back in the fold. So I do think that adds another dimension where they can't really drop 8. They have to respect the run game. So, yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of zone coverage for him. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a monster versus zone coverage. So give me him over 83.5 receiving yards, 9-1 to lead the day in receiving as well. So I add that with DK. Eckler under 49.5 rushing yards, under in 3 straight. I just don't think he's healthy. I mean, he's getting the volume. He's got 14 plus carries in those 3 games. He just hasn't been able to get it going. Detroit, really good rush defense, 3rd in rushing yards allowed. So I think they can hold Austin Eckler down here, at least rushing wise.
Yeah, he's getting the attempts, but it just hasn't translated to much success on the ground. I mean, I guess they face some decent rush defenses. I know Jets are one of the top ones, if I'm not mistaken. Bears, that's a little questionable there. Chiefs have been pretty good. We know Dallas has been pretty good as well. So they're still feeding him the football, but maybe look at his receiving yards to go over in this game for Austin Eckler. I was looking at Amon-Ra St. Brown's receptions in this game. That number's
anything you can get is probably stealing with him.
Let's see. Where is he? 6.5 at -145. So pretty much 7 or 7.5 is a number for him. But I mean, I couldn't talk you off of it for that. I didn't really have anything else for this game. Maybe either Jared Goff on his passing yards to go over. Let me see. Like you mentioned, Chargers allowing 313.5 passing yards per game.
That's ridiculous.
Lions are around 242. So if you want to look at Jared Goff, either longest completion to go over or his passing yards to simply go over. All right, Latte, Sunday Night Football, Jets and the Raiders. Jets are sitting as a 1-point favorite in this game. As far as the injury report for the New York Jets, I am currently seeing. Will McDonald, the fourth defensive end, is questionable here today with an ankle injury. And that is pretty much it for the Jets. A pretty healthy squad for the Las Vegas Raiders. It will be Aiden O'Connell getting the start here. Marcus Peters is questionable with a knee injury. Jacob Johnson, fullback, is dealing with a concussion, and he's officially listed as questionable for the Raiders. But God, this is probably the toilet bowl of the day on Sunday Night Football. So I'll probably be watching some basketball or some NBA or hockey going on. But do you have anything for this game? I think I just had one.
Yeah, I got two. Aiden O'Connell under 208.5 passing yards. Pierce has been pretty much adamant saying that he wants to run the ball. He wants to run the ball a lot. So you can pretty much parlay that with some Jacobs overs. The Jets. You would think that the Jets have a solid. I mean, they do have a solid front, but their rush defense is not good at all. They are what are they in rushing yards? I'm trying to find it. My bad. They are. They're not like I don't have it in my notes. Maybe it was in my other one, but
for the Jets,
the Jets, they're third in passing yards allowed. Okay, here it is, and they're 30th in rushing yards allowed, like 30th. So the D line isn't it's not getting there to stop the run. I think Jacobs could have a day as well. Quentin Williams, guess how many sacks he has?
2.
A half a sack. That's it. So I think he's gonna get one. I think he's gonna get one tonight. So if you could find a 1+ sack on him, I think his half a sack was like juiced at -210, which is ridiculous. So I'll just try to get 1+. Maybe you can get that down. I would have probably even try to ladder it up to 2+.
I see quarter of a. You say Quentin Williams?
Quentin Williams, yeah.
I see quarter at +160.
Oh yeah. What's a half?
Doesn't tell me.
Maybe I was looking at something. Maybe I was looking at something else when I did that.
Yeah, I don't see it right now.
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, I like that. I think you'll get one tonight as well. Who else do I like? Garrett Wilson over 5.5 receptions. You can get that at plus money. He's over this in 3 straight. Now Zach Wilson's not good, but he's literally force feeding the ball to Garrett Wilson. He's like I said, he's over in 3 straight and 4 of his last 5. These are his targets in his last 3 games: 13, 13, and 12. So getting the volume. The Raiders are what are they? They're 5th in passing yards allowed, but again, I mean, just sheer volume. I think he's going to get there. And at plus money, can't go wrong. So give me Garrett Wilson over 5.5 receiving yards. I mean, receptions. Sorry.
I still see a player to record a sack. Quentin Williams at +165. So
yeah, I'll take that.
All right. I liked Breece Hall in this game to run all over this Raiders rush defense. 63.5 was the number for him. That number is now up to 68.5 on Bet365. So some traction there. I think that this could be a game where he could get into triple digits. I wouldn't be surprised. For him to do that is at +360 over on Bet365. 75 plus is at +120. The Raiders defense just has not been very good, the rush defense, and I'm going to take that to the bank. That's going to be the only player prop I have for the Sunday Night Football game. It's the Broncos allowing 130 on the ground as far as rushing. Panthers 118, Raiders 117.78, and a little go further down the list, the Jets are right there as well. So I expect a lot of Breece Hall in this game. Last week, I think the wheels kind of came off for him as far as the limitations that they were kind of giving him coming off of the ACL injury.
Yep.
But last week he had 20 attempts against the LA Chargers. 16 attempts for 50 yards for Breece Hall. He's been in double-digit attempts over the last 4 weeks: 16, 12, 12, and then he had 22 against the Denver Broncos. So if he's into the realm of 22 again or something, I mean, not like if he gets 15 plus in this game again, he's getting over this number. I would be shocked if he didn't. So Breece Hall, I still like it up to 68.5 right now, currently on Bet365. And if you want to sprinkle a little bit on that +360 for him to be 100+ receiver, or sorry, 100+ rushing yard running back today, I do like that as well. All right, Lante, let's get into our touchdown score parlay for this week. What are we looking at?
Let's see. I think we've been close on these.
I think we've been using 3 out of 4. We just can't get to that 4 out of 4.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go with Amon-Ra St. Brown as one of my guys.
Okay.
To score.
Let's see.
I
He's
think
at
he's like
plus
plus 160,
145.
plus
Oh,
145.
hold on. Let me go to Bet365 here. Let me see if they let us parlay this. This is a little difficult because they only do it by game. All right, so let me go to, you said Amon St. Brown.
Yeah, I like him around St. Brown.
Touchdown. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll add him in there. All right. Who else?
I like Lamar Jackson as well to score. I think he's gonna be
Lamar.
doing a lot of scrambling around.
Lamar. Where are you, Lamar? Plus 170.
I like that.
I will go with Dalton Schultz. I think he'll make it 4 straight weeks, especially with the injuries that the Texans have. At the wide receiving group, he's
Yes,
at
sir.
plus 220. So that's 3 guys there.
You like Brees Hall?
Yeah, I think he's probably gonna be at a minus price though. Let me see.
Yeah, you're right.
Where
What
is
is
he?
Jacobs too? Jacobs to score? Is he at minus? I'm pretty sure he's probably like minus 125, minus 130.
So Josh Jacobs plus 110, Brees Hall plus 135.
Throw them both up there.
All right.
That should be 5, right?
Yeah, but this one won't let me do 2 guys from the same game.
Okay. Well, you like Brees more. Brees is fine.
All right, let's do Brees. All right, this one's a little bit more less than what we've been giving out. It's around 49-1. So
Close
Brees
enough.
Hall, Dalton Schultz, Lamar Jackson, and Amon St. Brown all to find the end zone. That's around 49-1. And then let's put together our prize picks entry for this week here, Lonte. I think we hit the one last week we did for these games, but I will throw in. Let's see here. So one of my favorite ones is going to be Brock Purdy on his pass attempts to go more on that. And as it loads up here, give me a second. All right. Pass attempts, where are we? Passing touchdowns, receiving yards, pass completions. Okay, there's no pass attempts here, unfortunately. So I will pivot to then Christian McCaffrey. Or let's go White, man. He's been money for us.
Yes,
Rashad
sir.
White, I'll throw in there. So
Can't go wrong.
25.5, more than that. All right. Give me your favorite player prop.
Damn, I don't want to. I mean, Amon St. Brown is my absolute favorite. DK is probably my next. DK over. I don't know what they have him at. It should be low 60s, 63, 64.
65.5.
That's close. Yeah, that's good enough. I
I mean,
like
I
that.
think he could get into triple digits here,
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
against this.
I do too.
All right. So Rashad White, more than 25.5 receiving yards. DK Metcalf, more than 65.5 receiving yards. Who else do we like this week? Man, I can't believe they don't have pass attempts. God.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. I found it.
Yeah, throw that up there.
So let me throw Brock Purdy in there, 30.5. All right. And let's do one more.
Give me Garrett Wilson, 5.5 receptions.
Garrett Wilson.
Hopefully they have 5. We get a little bit of push insurance.
Yeah, it's 5.5.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll take
That's
it.
fine. Yeah.
All right. So currently on our prize picks, our entry is going to be Rashad White, more than 25.5 receiving yards. DK Metcalf, more than 65.5 receiving yards. Brock Purdy, more than 30.5 pass attempts. And then Garrett Wilson, more than 5.5 receptions. A $100 entry will get you 5. Oh, no, we're doing power play. We go 4 for 4 here. Power play, 100 entry. Get all 4. It gets you a nice $1,000 return currently over on prize picks. That is pretty much it, man. Alonso, anything else that we want to mention before we get out of here?
No, I'm good. I'm good, man.
Yeah, make sure to follow Lante over on Twitter at Lante at XXLanteXX. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsNerd824. Sharky asking for a hockey pick. I will go with that first game. Florida Panthers and the Blackhawks over 6.5 goals in that game. So there you go. The first game on the board here in hockey, over 6.5
wow,
goals.
man! I got a hockey pick, man. What's up? I got a hockey pick.
And
Let
what you
me see.
got?
What do I got? What did I play here? What did I play here? What did I play here? Oh, I like the give me the Ducks on the puck line in regulation.
Ooh, quack, quack, quack. All right, there we go.
Sharks
So
are
two
terrible,
hockey
man.
picks were thrown in for you guys as well. Yes, in the Sharp Shark, he's a Shark fan, so you just put a
Oh, I'm
knife
sorry,
through his
brother.
heart.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
All right, that is going to do it for this NFL Week 10 pregame show. We'll be back next week for our Monday Night Football pod, as Lante and I usually do. And then we are going to be back for NFL Week 11 as well for our pregame show as well. All right, bet responsibly today. Enjoy the games, and we will talk to you guys next week. Till then, let it ride.